It's week 4 in the NFL season. We're getting ready to get into another week. But, Bonte, there are clearly coaches already on the hot seat. Now, don't steal my thunder because you know who I'm going to talk about.
Oh, man.
But outside of that dude, who's probably going to be the first coach to get fired here in the NFL?
Well, I was looking at Jeff Fisher before the season, and especially after that 28-0 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, he's won 2 games in a row. They have a big game at Arizona that I think they can actually compete with the Cardinals and actually steal it. But I am going to steal your thunder. And I think it's going to be a guy who's out there traveling in London, yo boy, Gus Bradley, the Gus Bus, who I loved before the season, but the Jaguars now 0-3. They don't look good on offense. They don't look good on defense. And you know what? A loss to the lowly Indianapolis Colts, a team with no defense, with no running game, a one-dimensional type of style. Gus Bradley might be left in London if they lose to the Colts, Eddie.
Gus Bradley's experiment has been a simple one. Number one, you want to create an environment defensively that the Jaguars could be elite to what they used to be in the late 90s under Tom Coughlin. So far, it has not worked. Now, some of that is because personnel has been hurt. Yep. They've been unable to get a lot of quality free agents. You have to pay the ugly tax to get great players to come to Jacksonville. Now, they do have a star in Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Jalen Ramsey has a chance to be a star. Who knows what happens when Miles Jack gets on the field? But the fact of the matter is, Jacksonville has been unable to consistently make any stops defensively. And that has an adverse effect on what happens to the Jaguars offensively. Because now, Jacksonville's down 14 points. Right. Jacksonville's down 21 points. Jacksonville has shown an inability to run the ball. Even in the games are close, they cannot run the ball.
Offensive line injuries.
Offensive line has been terrible. And what happens is now you're putting Blake Bortles, still a quarterback in transition, learning how to play the game in the NFL. Instead of giving him third and manageable, you're getting him in third and long situations. And I don't care how good Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, or Julius Thomas may be. You're asking them to be, in the words of Chris Sims, we'll get on Chris Sims here in a minute. Ooh. You want to talk about the wide receivers turning into Spider-Man. Right. They do have to make incredible plays to make Jacksonville stay in games. And that's really problematic if you're a fan of the Jaguars.
So what does Gus Bradley have to do? I mean, obviously he has to win this game to at least fly back to Jacksonville and go to his office. But what can Gus Bradley do to turn his team around? Because they play in a weak AFC South. Yeah. J.J. Watt is now out in Houston. They're vulnerable. Do you believe in Brock Osweiler? I don't. What about the Tennessee Titans? They're in transition as well. This division is very winnable. And on paper, it looks like the Jaguars have the talent to at least compete for the division title.
Yeah, look, if I'm Jacksonville, look, they just have to try to win one game at a time. But they got to show that, hey, they're not going to get blown out. Look, I thought they had made strides playing against Green Bay. In reality, it looks like it was the battle of playing somebody in week 1 because they've got absolutely embarrassed against San Diego, and they got embarrassed here last week against a team I cannot readily name off the top of my head.
Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Steve Smith Sr., what up, man?
Yeah, Steve Smith Sr. put another notch in his belt courtesy of Jalen Ramsey. So that defense needs to show that young talent is ready to play, and they've got to keep Jacksonville in a close game. And that offense, look, Greg Olsen made a vow. He said, we have to run the ball. We have to get better at running the ball.
We're still waiting.
As far as I'm concerned, if we're going to talk about next coach in general being fired, it might be Greg Olsen before Gus Bradley, because Gus Bradley, you got to at least save your job by taking some action if the offense is going to continue to be inept.